Hi, I hope you're having a great day. It's been almost half a year since I made a video about the介護福祉士国家試験 questions and answers. And since many of you have requested that I make more of these kinds of videos, and since the next介護福祉士国家試験 is just right around the corner, in this video we're gonna discuss some past questions and of course their corresponding answers under the category 介護過程. Welcome back to NikkoVenture. 介護福祉職が介護過程を展開する意義に関する次の記述のうち最も適切なものを一つ選びなさい. Before we proceed, I just want to point out one word from this question, and that is this, 展開, which may mean development, progression, or expansion. 領域展開. Let's proceed. Choice number 5. 介護福祉職が実施したい介護を提供する. Dudes and dudettes, we, the caregivers, cannot choose what kind of care we want to do. Once you work here in Japan as a caregiver, care you will provide to the elderly or to your client or to your patient will be a package deal. You will not only have to feed the client, if needed you also have to bathe the client, dress the client, and wipe that client's ass after taking a huge shit. You will do all those things and more whether you want it or not. 介護過程 or the care process was created for the elderly. The focus of the 介護過程 is the elderly. 介護過程 doesn't have anything to do with you, the caregiver. No, 介護過程 is just a tool that you will use to provide efficient and quality care. 介護過程 will not give you what kind of care you want to provide. No, 介護過程 will provide you what kind of care the elderly need. So yeah, this is wrong. Choice number 4. 介護福祉職が生活を管理するための介護を考えることができる. The word that makes this choice very absolutely wrong is this, 管理, which means manage or control. Dudes and dudettes, as a caregiver here in Japan or whatever country you are in right now, you are not supposed to control or manage an elderly's life. Unless you have a written informed consent, no one, absolutely no one is supposed to control or manage another adult human being's life. As a caregiver, you are there to provide care and make your client or your elderly's life a bit easier. To do that, you should use 介護過程. 介護過程 will not give you the power to control or manage someone else's life. 介護過程 will allow us to help the elderly achieve the life they want. Choice number 3. 今までの生活から切り離した介護を提供する. I've been saying this for a few minutes already, but I'm gonna say this once again. The focus and the center of 介護過程 is your client, your elderly, and that elderly's life. So it just makes sense that when you use 介護過程, the care you will provide to that elderly will revolve around that elderly's life. And if you, the caregiver, will provide a very different care, a care that is very alien from that elderly's life, a life that he was used to, your care will be inefficient and poor quality. So yeah, this choice is also wrong. Choice number 2. 直感的な判断をもとに介護を考えることができる. For those of you who want to become a caregiver here in Japan, and for those who are now working here in Japan as a caregiver, caregiving, or the act or service of providing care to another person, is not based on intuition. Caregiving is not based on instinct. Caregiving, our job as a caregiver here in Japan or in any other country for that matter, is based on objective and unbiased and scientific evidence. Some of you might argue, especially those veterans here in this country, you might say,
"No, I've been doing caregiving based solely on my instinct and
blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah."
Well, that's not what these caregiving books say. And if you want to pass the 介護福祉士国家試験 next year, follow what the books say. After you become a Kaigo Fukushishi, then at that time, go ahead and follow your instincts. Follow what your heart says.
My heart went nutty, you sickle.
Choice number 1 is the correct answer. チームアプローチによる介護を提供することができる。We've been talking about 介護過程 for several minutes already. I even made a video about it. Although a single caregiver can do the assessment and planning stage of the Kaigo Kate, to implement your plan for an effective care, you need to work together with other healthcare professionals as a team. Remember that even if you made the ultimate care plan in the entire multiverse, you still cannot implement it on your own. No matter how good you think you are, a single caregiver is still a small part of a much stronger and effective healthcare team. And an elderly who needs care will not only need one caregiver. An elderly who needs care will need an entire team of healthcare professionals. 介護過程における情報収集に関する次の記述のうち最も適切なものを一つ選びなさい。情報収集 or information gathering is one of the many things you must do during the first stage of 介護過程, the assessment. Choice number 1. 利用者の日常生活の困難の部分を中心に収集する。When doing 情報収集, you must not only collect the difficult aspects of an elderly's life. No, you must also collect happy information from that elderly. Those happy information that I'm talking about right now may include but will not be limited to the elderly's talents, abilities, and just plain happy moments in that elderly's life. By gathering both the negative and positive aspects of a person's life, we may be able to understand that person as a whole. Choice number 2. 利用者との会話は解釈して記載する。Although it is very important to record all the information you gathered from the elderly, you must never, and I say never, ever interpret it. All the information you will gather from the elderly must be recorded or written as is. Do not interpret those gathered information. For example, if the elderly suddenly says in your conversation, ご飯食べてから天国行きたいな, record it as verbatim. Record it word for word. Do not assume anything and do not record your assumptions. Choice number 3. 他の専門職が記載した記録は直接的な情報として扱う。During 情報収集, the only information that will be considered direct information is the information that you collected yourself. Any information, regardless if it is from the doctor or the nurse, if those information were not gathered by you, by yourself, those information will never be considered direct information. Information that were collected by other people, by other healthcare professionals, are considered as indirect information, or in Japanese, 間接的な情報. Choice number 5. 情報収集はモニタリングを実施してから行う。There are 4 stages of 介護過程: アセスメント、計画立案、実施、and 評価。情報収集 is done during the first stage, アセスメント。Monitoring or monitoring is done before 評価。Monitoring is some sort of a sub-level between 実施 and 評価, where you monitor what you implemented and then evaluate it. You do not do 情報収集 after monitoring. No, 情報収集 is done way before monitoring. Choice number 4 is the correct answer. 利用者の生活に対する思いを大切にしながら収集する。情報収集 is not an interrogation where you ask questions and demand answers. When doing 情報収集, aside from collecting and recording information, the caregiver must also pay close attention to the elderly's thoughts and emotions. You can do this by listening to the tone of their voice and looking at their facial expression when doing 情報収集. By doing this, you will be able to know what the elderly thinks of their life so far and what they want to do with their life moving forward. 介護過程における生活課題に関する次の記述のうち最も適切なものを一つ選びなさい。To answer this question, we need to know what is 生活課題. We already know what's 生活, right? Life itself. Kadai is formed by these two kanji characters. In this context, this may mean a chapter or a section. So if paired with seikatsu, it may roughly mean a chapter or a section of a person's life. Now, this may mean a topic or subject, but in the context of Kaigo Kate or Jouhou Shushu, we may think of this as a problem. And the Japanese word for a problem? Mondai. So, seikatsu mondai may roughly mean a problem or an issue in a chapter of a person's life. Choice number 1 states that a seikatsu kadai is something that you need to solve in order to provide efficient care. No, it's the other way around. You need to provide efficient and quality care to solve a seikatsu kadai. Choice number 2 states that a seikatsu kadai is something that you need to solve in order for the elderly to live a life their families or relatives want. No. A seikatsu kadai must be solved in order for the elderly to live a life that the elderly wants, not their family's or relative wants. Choice number 3 is simply wrong. A seikatsu kadai is not something that a caregiver should put into practice. A seikatsu kadai is something that a caregiver should solve. A seikatsu kadai is just seikatsu mondai, a problem, a life problem. You don't practice life problem, whatever that means. You solve problems. Choice number 4 is also wrong. A seikatsu kadai will not, and I mean not, improve an elderly's life. No, that doesn't make sense at all. You solve problems to improve a person's life. To improve a person's life, you solve their problems. Choice number 5 is the correct answer. Remember that the goal of your care is to improve an elderly's life, to give them the life they want. To do that, you need to solve the elderly's seikatsu kadai. 介護過程における目標の設定に関する次の記述のうち適切なものを一つ選びなさい。Before you proceed with the choices, please remember that there are two types of goals or 目標 in 介護過程. The 長期目標 or the long-term goal and the 短期目標 or the short-term goal. You can think of 長期目標 as your main goal, your main objective. And to reach that main goal, you need to set your 短期目標, your short-term goal. Choice number 1. 長期目標の期間は1ヶ月程度に設定する。長期目標 are generally set for a period of 6 months to 1 year, although the exact length may vary depending on the elderly's situation and condition. The goal that is set for about 1 month is the 短期目標. Choice number 2. 長期目標は短期目標ごとに設定する。You do not set 長期目標 for every 短期目標 you have. No, generally speaking, you will only have one 長期目標 and multiple 短期目標. Choice number 3 simply claims that if you solve all your 短期目標, you will basically solve all your seikatsu kadai, which is simply wrong. The only parameter you have that will tell you whether you solved a seikatsu kadai or not is your 長期目標. Solving your 長期目標 will also mean that you have solved a seikatsu kadai. Choice number 4. 短期目標は抽象的な内容で表現する。Your 短期目標 and your 長期目標 should be 具体的, specific, and defined. That means all your goals can be measured. Choice number 5 is the correct answer. The purpose of your 短期目標 is to help you achieve your 長期目標. 介護計画における介護内容に関する次の記述のうち最も適切なものを一つ選びなさい。When doing 介護過程, you must set your own care plan or your 介護計画 to solve any 生活課題. Choice number 1. 利用者の能力よりも介護の効率を重視して決める. When deciding for the content of your 介護計画, you should also consider your elderly, your client's abilities. The efficiency of your care doesn't have anything to do when deciding the content of your 介護計画. Choice number 2. 業務の都合に応じて介護できるように時間の設定は省略する. Making your 介護計画 to fit your work schedule is wrong. Your plan of care should be specific, defined, and measurable, and continuous regardless of your work shift. Choice number 4. 利用者の意思よりも介護福祉職の考えを優先して決める。When deciding the content of your 介護計画, involve your elderly, involve your client. After all, your 介護計画 is for that elderly, for your client. Prioritize your elderly's thoughts when deciding the content of your 介護計画. Your client or your elderly's needs and wants must be the baseline of your 介護計画. Choice number 5. 介護福祉職だけが理解できる表現にする. When deciding the content of your 介護計画 or writing the content of your 介護計画, do not use technical words or medical words. Your 介護計画, or at least the content of your plan of care, will be read by the elderly and that elderly's family. And there's a huge chance that those people cannot understand a medical terminology. So to make it easier for those people to understand what they're trying to do with your plan of care, do not use medical or technical terminologies. Choice number 3 is the correct answer. The content of your 介護計画 should also include any important points and precautions. Remember that you, the caregiver, is one part of a huge healthcare team, and your 介護計画 will be read or will be used by other members of that healthcare team. And knowing any precautions and important points will help those other team members to avoid mistakes and accidents. So that's it. This is a very long video, and those are some of the questions and their corresponding answers of the介護福祉士国家試験, or in English, the National Caregiver Certification Exam here in Japan under the category 介護過程. I hope you've learned something, and if you want more of this kind of video, please leave a like, comment, and share this video with your interested friends. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Thank you so much for your time watching this video, this very long video. See you in the next one. Babush.